introduce our next speaker, President of Rutgers University, Jonathan Holloway. Assuming this role as the president of a large research university in the nation, during a time of unprecedented challenges and a global pandemic, requires an exceptional leader with courage, integrity, strength, and a strong vision. Rutgers is very fortunate to have Jonathan, and we are very honored to have Jonathan to be with us today at this important conference. Jonathan graduated with honors from Stanford as an undergraduate, and then from Yale with a doctorate degree in history. He is an accomplished scholar, an eminent historian, and a visionary academic leader. He served as a dean of Yale College previously, and more recently as a provost at Northwestern. He is also an elected member of the American Academy of Arts and Science. Welcome, President Holloway.
Thank you so much, Dean Lay. I appreciate the introduction. And I'm really honored to be, well, I'm saying part of this conversation, but I know I'm coming in at the very end of what I've heard has been a remarkable 3 or 4 days of conversations. And this is I got a few facts just before I jumped onto this Zoom, having run in from another Zoom meeting. We all understand how that works these days. But this is truly a global conference in that there are a whole number of people who are staying up to all kinds of hours when I'm long asleep, participating in this important conversation. So this is hopeful. I guess that's the word I want to use. It's incredibly hopeful. And thank you for being here and being part of this moment. I mean, I'm happy to be here to help wrap things up, to do whatever I can in myself and through the university to support the UN goals for sustainable development as they relate to business education and practice. I'm really proud that Rutgers Business School has focused on advancing these global goals and that there's been this global conversation just in this moment. It's an alignment of goals and activity that I think is what gives the other conference participants who talked to me for a few moments ago and me and myself gives me hope. So I'm thrilled that Rutgers is hosting this. I want to thank everybody who participated in it and who did the work behind the scenes to bring it all together. Now, as Dean Lay pointed out, I'm new to Rutgers, and this is my first time working. Well, that's not quite true. I started my teaching career at UC San Diego for a few years, but other than that, I've been at private universities. And when I was a candidate for this job, I was asked, well, why switch from the private space to the public space? And for me, it really wasn't a very hard decision, hard to explain. I am excited by the idea of the role that public universities play. They have a special role to play in advancing global goals. We are built as institutions to serve the common good. Now, I think private universities are supposed to do that as well, but publics are literally mandated with serving the public good. And this history for Rutgers University, the State University of New Jersey, that map, I think historically, it's an old university, was really locally based or regionally based, but we are a global university. And so it's really important that our public mandate expands beyond the state to the nation and to the world. And we already have in place so many great scholars working on climate resilience, on food production, on the eradication of disease and the like. And to me, this is what a public university should be doing. It's sort of the best way in higher education to make a difference and to articulate a commitment to being a good citizen. So also when I think of the public university, I think of, and one reason, big reason I put my name in the hat for Rutgers is that not only is it committed to doing research at the cutting edge, the great minds of the world are coming here to explore and we're sending great minds out, The university is also committed to opening its doors to so many types of students who, frankly, are often not thought of as being natural candidates for major research universities. I'm talking first generation students, immigrant families, families where English is not the primary language, underrepresented minority students, students from low incomes. Having a major research university in service of this population, where we can do the work of transforming their lives and frankly, their families' lives, this is exciting. And this is a major reason that I wanted to get involved in this community. Now, I believe, and as part of my presidential administration, have made a strategic priority to talk about, in very substantive terms, about the power of diversity, the transformative power of what a diverse community can bring. And I'm just convinced that excellence can be found everywhere. And it's thinking just about the United States. I know it's a global conference, but just for the United States, it's a huge country. And just in this country, we undervalue our own population. We undervalue that we have low expectations for people coming from these backgrounds I mentioned a moment ago, first gen, low income, et cetera. And we are missing an incredible opportunity to tap into that excellence. So to be at a public university that is already doing that work, that is providing the platforms from which people can build their own rocket ship and lift themselves out of poverty, to be at a place that's promoting equity in the course of doing that, to be at a place that's looking for solutions through a diversity of voices and perspectives. This is really exciting, and I'm proud that Rutgers is one of these places. Now, when I think of universities as beloved communities. And this is not to say I'm talking about a place where we all agree with one another. One, that place won't exist, and two, it wouldn't be that interesting. But I believe a beloved communities where there's a marketplace of ideas that can flourish because there's a mutual respect and a sense of shared commitment to the good of the community. And this means that we must be willing to have sometimes uncomfortable conversations with one another in order to find the truth that we need to get to in order to solve a problem. What the heck does all this have to do with climate change, global crisis, whatever? It has everything to do with it. If we think about what a crisis represents, I mean, we're living in a multi-pronged crisis right now, a global pandemic and its economic impact, this social, racial reckoning that is a global phenomenon, and of course, climate change. If you start to think about who are the most exposed populations when it comes to these kinds of issues, it is really the very same population that I'm so excited to be at Rutgers to serve. The people who are the most vulnerable in terms of their financial resources, in terms of the lack of or the inequities in terms of opportunities for individuals. If we just look at racial justice issues, we know that there are disparate health outcomes, different economic opportunities, different registers of what resonates as a socially just environment. And all of those things are tied to issues of global health, global climate issues. We know this to be true. We need to find ways to address this. One thing I'm very excited about is that as part of my summer homework is that I was able to put together with several colleagues at Rutgers a proposal to the Mellon Foundation submitted by Michelle Stevens, Dean of the Humanities at Rutgers, New Brunswick, a proposal for a $15 million 5-year grant from the Mellon Foundation, which focuses on the humanities, but this will be funding a new initiative called the Institute for the Study of Global Racial Justice. This is a scholarly project that expands the breadth of the university, that'll amplify the scholarship of researchers in areas such as policy reform, K-12 education, social justice work, et cetera. It's a commitment that Rutgers is making to areas of inquiry related to anti-racism and social inequality, not just in the US, but across the globe. And if we do this right, it means that we are going to be making a major contribution to achieving many of the UN Sustainable Development Goals you've been discussing this week: poverty, hunger, health, education, equality, sustainable cities, decent work, economic growth. I'm sure I'm forgetting other things you've been talking about, but the fact is we are putting together an intellectual agenda that is addressing so many of the things that sustainable development also wants to address. So to me, this is a beautiful alignment of this larger global project and of a way that Rutgers can address it, but it's not the only way. Rutgers is also doing great work in this space with a task force that I inherited. My predecessor, Bob Barchi, started the President's Task Force on Carbon Neutrality and Climate Resilience that, again, addresses so many, I mean, in terms of the areas that they're studying, so many of the issues on this, related to the Sustainable Development Goals. The interim report came in this past summer, and I'm waiting eagerly for the final report to come at the end of the academic year. When I met with a number of students who were involved in this task force and who themselves are climate activists, I think they were pleased to know, as they ran down their list of, you know, these are the, I'm making the number up, 6 things that need to be addressed. It was not, they did not need to come to me with from the position of these are our demands, because I said, I already agree with you. So the question is, how are we going to do it? And that's what I want to end with, that you have been working for the last 4 days on raising lots of important questions, raising issues that are uncomfortable, that lead to uncomfortable conversations. To me, even though I've not been here for the conference, it sounds to me that you have embodied the work of a beloved community, pushing into the marketplace ideas that are challenging, that may make people very uncomfortable. But if we find a way through a diverse range of voices that are represented by this conference attendees to come together, we can do incredibly important work. And for the sake of our planet, for the sake of our children, for the sake of our future. And so for me, the question is not, should we? It's can we, and how can we? And we need to get to that work as soon as possible. You've done important work by laying part of that foundation through the series of important conversations that you started this week, and as well as the takeaways and next steps in the coming days. I'm looking forward to learning more about this in the weeks ahead as I get debriefed on how this conference went. And I want to thank you again for giving me the chance to share my thoughts with you today, and to tell you how aligned I am with the larger intellectual project that you're talking about and the social justice project that you're talking about, because to me, they resonate so deeply with my job as being a leader of a public institution and the work that a place like Rutgers is morally obliged to do. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for having me come and participate even in the small and modest way. And most importantly, thank you for your commitment to working on these important goals. Thank you so much.
Thank you. On behalf of all of us, we are absolutely thrilled to have you as our leader. And I want you to know that everybody is so excited, and we appreciate your wonderful remarks and your great support. So good luck, and we will be in touch. Thank you. All right. That was awesome. So we are now going to transition to, can you all see me and hear me? Yes? We're gonna,
Yes.
awesome. We're gonna just transition to thank yous. And I had sent an email earlier to a bunch of you because we want to have all of your faces show up here. And as I name you, please turn your cameras on. So first, I want to thank the sponsors. So that would include Joel Harmon from Fairleigh Dickinson University, Gerard Farias from Fairleigh Dickinson University, Ashwani Vasith from the New Jersey Higher Education Partnership for Sustainability and Ramapo College, Dilip Mirchandani from Rowan, Noah Gaffney from Rutgers and the Rutgers Institute for Corporate Social Innovation. I see Dean Lay is still here. So you want to turn your camera on, Dean Lay, if you can stay a couple minutes? Okay, great. So these are our sponsors, yay. These are the people that have been working on this for the better part of 2 years, as we had planned to originally have this conference in October of 2019. 19, and then we postponed it until March 2020. It was going to be March 26th, 27th, 2020. And 2 weeks before that, we had to cancel / postpone the conference. All right. I also want to thank the leadership, which includes President Holloway for his support, Gary Cohn, not sure if he's here, Dean Lay, who's been enormously supportive, and Chancellor Cantor, all of whom spoke at this conference. Next, I want to thank the incredible program team that included Magda Camo. You hear Magda? Deborah Flamengo. Deborah gets 12 stars at least. She's been an amazing supporter of everything and a pleasure to work with throughout the entire conference. Luke Greeley, I don't know if he's here. He's been working behind the scenes, helping us in numerous ways. My buddy Sharon Hellman, who has been our project manager. Is Sharon here? I hope she's here. Sharon has been unbelievably supportive. I also want to give a special shout out to the unbelievably fabulous RBS Information Technology team, which includes under Russell Clark, I don't know if he's here, Chevon Jackson, we call him Chev, Roland Privet, Max Biles, and Lisa Dedrick. They've been incredible, really on top of everything, working 12 hours a day. I also want to thank Parul Jain from our Finance and Economics Department and Hildegard Link, who's helped us liaison with the New Brunswick campus and the sustainability folks. We had a number of people outside of RBS who also generously volunteered. Valerie Bendish, who did our PR, marketing, social media, and also liaisoned with, I think the word is liaison, with James Corwell, as well as Dana Smith from Meatless Mondays. We had an amazing amount of volunteer support from Heba Megahead. You can see her right there. She put this fabulous 43-page program together. We also had support from several people from the Marcom department, including, I'm going to forget her name, oh my God, including Dan Stoll and Susan Todd and the woman who did the Entity app. I sent her name and I don't have it here, sorry. And we also have the student facilitators. So we have a long list of student facilitators who help facilitate all the sessions. I'm not gonna, oh, there's Dan Stoll. Chat me the name that I couldn't remember that you gave me a few minutes ago. I'm sorry. Abigail, I think her name was. Abigail, okay, apologize. She did the behind the scenes work creating this beautiful graphics on the Entity app. So the student facilitators, we had a list of about 30 of them. Aditya, Alicia, Anna, Chelsea, Claire, Cynthia, Edith, Amelia, Ethan, Fariha, Hillary, Hend, Jamila, Juliana, Kabir, Lavanya, Margie, Mindy, Muhammad, Fake, Muhammad Dutt, Nicole, Nirmala, Rahul, Sanhana, Sophia, Swetha, Tiffany, and Yifan. So this did not happen alone. This happened with all of us together, working together as a team. I also want to thank all the speakers. We had, I don't even know how many speakers, we didn't count them, probably close to 100 speakers that participated in various sessions, and they all did a wonderful job. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone else. Noah, did you want to say a word at this point?
Yes, absolutely. I just really want to thank Jeana Wirtenberg, who this was her brainchild. It's something that, as she mentioned, has been working on for over 2 years. And I think these delays have really worked in our favor and that it's come to fruition in the most incredible way. We've had over 1,000 participants from 60 countries. It really was a labor of love from Jeana. And so I just want to applaud Jeana and all of her hard work and vision to make this conference a reality.
Thank you, Noah, and thanks for all your support. So at this point,
Just want to add one more thing. Jeana, thank you. You did a wonderful job, and your entire committee and the team. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you, Dean Lay. So I just want to say a few words about next steps, and then I'm going to play a very inspiring video that I listen to almost every day to inspire me. I just want to say regarding next steps, we will be following up. We have tons of suggestions. We just had a student dialogue session with a lot of ideas that came out of it. Gerard Farias has offered to have a monthly check-in call, but the sponsors and the team is going to get together and put together a plan to make sure that we move forward with a lot of the ideas that came out. We will be posting all of the recordings online, all of the PDFs of the presentations. We'll be disseminating that to all 1,063 people who signed up for the conference and spreading the word more broadly. I've also been asked to write a section of a book that's coming out on Prime, which is due next week on the conference. So we're going to have a short summary of that. So anyone else would like to say anything before I play this inspiring 3-minute music? Anybody else from the team would like to say anything?
Just reiterate the thanks to everyone and to you especially, Jeana. And I'm the most interesting combination of inspired and exhausted I think I've ever been.
It's
Morning
strange,
to
but
night.
I'm an extrovert, and they say extroverts get their energy from being with people, and I have more energy than you could ever imagine, which is good because I have another thing in an hour, and then I'm teaching a class till 10 o'clock tonight. But I'll rest eventually. All right. So Max, tee up the music. And what I want to say about this is I want you to listen to the words. And this was something that was played at the Olympics. I believe, I don't even remember the year. I think it was 1988. And I'll never forget it. And it brought the whole world together. And that's kind of what we've done here. So this is Gloria Estefan. Max? So I invite all of you to put your spirit to the test and reach higher with me and all of us together. Thank you.